Okay. Um, so, a while ago I did a video on Dune 2020 because it's something I'm very much interested in. It's a production that I'm paying very close attention to. I did actually do a recording of this, but I stupidly didn't turn on the power of my microphone, which was clever. Oh dear. Okay. Timothy Chalamet is starring as Paul Atreides. Okay, yeah. So I quite like quite. He's got the right face as Paul Atreides. He's quite young, boyish looking, and that really sits quite well with the story of the book because it transforms from a 15-year-old boy, very naive 15-year-old boy, into a man who leads a whole bunch of other men. So there's a bit of there's a character's there's a hero's journey there. We've got Meg Ferguson, who's playing Lady Jessica. I've never seen her in anything, so I can't really comment. It's got Jordan in the background there. I've been there. Looks exactly. Well, I remember it. Wadi Rum. I mentioned Wadi Rum's actually more effective, is it? But Jordan's not that big a place. So, got still suits. Design is actually pretty good. Not quite as constrained as the not quite as constrained as the 1984 film, where it just molded, pretty much just molded the body of the actor. Kind of reminds me of the miniseries actually, a bit more loose fitting, which is quite good. I mean, I understand that in 1984 film and book, you want to keep it as close to the body as possible to, capture all the moisture, but it is a bit impractical. So I like how they made it a bit loose, but not too tight. So I'm okay with the still suits. I'm not reading all this. I don't really care. This is Chani. If you're not familiar, Chani's basically the lover of Paul when he meets the Fremen. And it's good to keep the whole nose thing because that's very much in the book and the films. I can't believe it's in the miniseries though. I think they may have skipped on that a few times. Not much to say. I don't care about these adverts. Okay. House Atreides. Got the emblem there, that's good. Lighting here is very much in style with Denis Villeneuve. It looks very familiar. Because you notice a lot of Denis Villeneuve's films, what he does is kind of likes a lot of low lighting. It's actually quite dark, and at the same time, what he does is he likes to divide the light, if that makes sense. Just drawing it. No, I can't. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, what you find in Villeneuve's films is he likes to light up this area. He likes to separate the room upwards. So, it's got two light areas. In the middle, it's kind of slightly more darker. Right, if that makes sense. Look, if you watch his other films, you kind of see it's a consistent pattern. That's what I'm trying to get at. So you got Oscar Isaac as Duke Leto. Let's try and zoom in this properly. Ancillary characters who I expect we'll never meet. He's got a very serious look on his face. Yeah. The thing is, it doesn't strike me as Duke Leto, actually. See, Duke Leto is quite a tall man in the book, and he's also got this very hawkish face. It's why Jurgen Prochnov was very good as Duke Leto. He really looked the part. Oscar Isaac, I don't know. I'm guessing that's Fufa Howard. Can't really say much about him. Josh Brolin is Gurney Halleck. Halleck was played by Patrick Stewart in the 1984 film. And then, bizarre enough, in the miniseries, what they did was they basically replaced Halleck with this guy who came across as this just London taxi driver. Just, oh god, such a bad choice, really. I think he was in that Jaws film with Michael Caine. I never saw it, but I saw clips of it, and I just thought, no way I'm watching that. Uniforms, they're quite dark. So there are similarities between this and the 1984 film, but at the same time there's a bit of a difference. Because the previous films were kind of olive green, very military style. These are very dark, black. So you've got peak caps, so I'm guessing that's got the insignia on there. And lapels, again, you've got a house insignia. But the thing is, there's no ribbons, no medals, no. So that's the great thing about the 1984 film, was you had a great costume design. Bob Ringwood, he was just a genius with the costumes in that film. I mean, he was really worked magic there. I mean, perfect, really. It's just too bad David Lynch was kind of directing it and kind of jumbled up too much of the story. And, for a lot of first-time viewers, it must have been incredibly confusing. It's weird. When I see Javier Bardem in these still suits, I think, okay, that suits the sci-fi narrative. When I see this with the knee pad, I think, oh, this is motorcycle gear. It's like Dread 2012. They're wearing motorcycle gear. It kind of takes you out of it a little bit. Yeah. Javier Bardem, I quite like him as an actor. Except in that god-awful Pirates movie where he... Oh, God. What was he playing? He was playing Captain Salazar, and... No. No, thank you. I wonder if he would... he's going to reprise his role from Shigur from No Country for Old Men, and just sort of go around randomly killing people if they get the wrong side of the coin toss. Just a thought. Put that in the script. Maybe. He might make quite a good Stilgar. So in the 1984 film, they had Everett McGill. I quite like McGill, but the problem is he came across as being a bit one-dimensional. So, yeah. Now, that is interesting. Stellan Skarsgård. I don't generally like Stellan Skarsgård because he kind of just plays the same guy. He's just this really grumpy, annoyed, well, Swede. Yeah. But what I did really appreciate him in was, it wasn't sure. No, I don't want this last one. Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård. He played Shabina. Yeah, Chernobyl. This was an excellent miniseries. I recently watched it and I fell in love with it. It was just excellent acting, excellent story. It kept you really compelled. So, but I think Stellan Skarsgård might make quite a good Baron, because Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, if you're not familiar with the books, is this conniving, quite sinister, and basically he's the ultimate baddie. Someone who's very clever, very ruthless, and someone who is willing to go the extra mile, and then 10 miles more to achieve his aims. He'll sacrifice any piece on the board. So that'd be quite interesting. I wonder how they'll fill him out, because in the book he's this floating. He's basically so fat. He's got like 3 chins, triple chinned. He's so big, yet she has to be suspended in like a hover harness. So this floating mass of diabetes, basically. Yeah. So we've got some interesting visuals. This kind of gives us a bit of an impression of the technology that they use. So the armor, it's very uses a lot of very angular surfaces. So it's not bad, actually. It kind of gives you the impression of being futuristic, but at the same time quite grounded in reality. Josh Brolin, he's been Gurley Halleck. Oh yeah, so you got the blades here. See, in the book, there's more an emphasis on melee combat. They tend to use blades more than they do projectiles. There are things like laser guns, or las guns as they're called, but the thing is, you shoot one of those into a shield, it could potentially blow up the planet because of this thing called the Holtzman effect. So they in this universe, there's a reason why they tend to use bladed weapons. So the background here, we've got something of the Atreides insignia. So I reckon that's either an ornithopter or a frigate. Yeah. Jessica. Okay, there's not much to say about her at the moment. Can you see anything here? Oscar Isaac. See, what kind of gets me about the army uniforms, there's no insignia, there's nothing to actually indicate that this is the big cheese, the Duke, except for this band here. Do you see that in Gurney Halleck? No. Oh, that's interesting. So with the full body armor, there's actually a face shield, so it's actually fully encompassing. His blade is a bit different. It's got black lacquer, I think. That's kind of grey. So interesting. The scabbards, they're exposed, so you could cut yourself as you're scratching your backside. I reckon I know what the shot is. I reckon this is the shot where they first land on planet Arrakis, and Jude Leto is staring at his son, kind of contemplatively, thinking, what is to become of my boy in this hostile environment? Will he survive? And I reckon this is actually the shot where they land on planet Arrakis and they survey Arrakeen, the city of Arrakeen, for the first time. Yeah, because you can see a lot of light here. I reckon that's external shot. I reckon this is actually a frigate. I'm willing to bet on that, actually. Ugh, go away, adverts. And that must be the frigate. That must be within the same sequence. These two shots here, I reckon. Duncan, Idaho, played by Jason Momoa. I don't really think that much of Jason Momoa, but then again, I am willing to be impressed, so, I keep an open mind. Not much to see here. I don't think that this is... This might be before he's embedded with the Fremen, because in the book, he's basically sent off in advance of the rest of the Atreides house to try and befriend the Fremen. Maybe because he got a bit of, maybe it's a blood spatter there. Maybe it's training. Who knows? And this is Sharon Duncan Bruce. I don't know who she is, and she's playing Liette Kynes, it's interesting because in the book, Liette Kynes is actually a man, and that's Charlie's dad. So I'm not sure how that would play out on the screen, how it would play out in the story. Yeah. So that may be a bit questionable. And the thing is, Kynes also has a very interesting role in the book because he plays like a triple agent. He works for the Fremen, and he also works for the Emperor, and he wants to work for Atreides. Yeah. Charlotte Rampling. Yeah, I can see Rampling would be Reverend Mother Mohiam. Batista, I can definitely see Batista as being Raban, because Raban is this big, imposing figure. It's like he's basically built like a brick outhouse. A big lunk, big brute of a man. I think I can definitely see him as that. And I was quite impressed with Batista, actually. He did really well as what's his name out of Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's great as the replicant we saw in Blade Runner 2049 and in short films that accompanied the actual feature film. Oh, yeah. Dune is a very, very difficult book to film because there are so many characters and it goes on for a very long time. And this is definitely why. Ocean Road 1. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's a lot of characters. It goes over for a very long time. And yeah, I can definitely see why they've done this put this into two parts. I mean, that was definitely Lynch's big mistake. Is that it was a one long film. And that's very difficult to compress. And then, to be honest, if you put all of that in one film, you're going to lose the audience's attention. You can't really focus. That's why it kind of concerns me that there needs to be some distinguishing marks. You can't just rely on the face to tell who's who in the film. Apparently, when they first released Dune 1984, a lot of the cinemas, they actually had glossaries for the people to actually read, because there was so much in there that was just completely unfamiliar with. And yeah. Is there anything else we can squeeze out of this? Anything else that we can... Huh? Ooh, this is a bit concerning. an intriguing change to the source material, Villeneuve has also updated Liet Kynes, leading ecologist Shadowpig. Although always depicted as a white man, the character is now played by Sharon Duncan Brewster, Rogue One. I think I know who she is, but I don't think she was really that prevalent in that film. Rogue One was a good Star Wars film, unlike Solo. What Denis had stated to me was there was a lack of female characters in his cast, and that he had always been very feminist, pro-women, wanted to write the role for women. That's a bit worrying. I mean, you shouldn't cast people based on, whether you're a feminist or not. You should cast them whether they actually fit the story. Now, the book, Dune, it's very... women feature very prominently, actually. I mean, I think even in the opening line, history shall call us wives, Herbert's very conscious of the role of women in the book, actually. So this is I find this a bit confusing. This sentence. I don't think, the thing is, when Kynes dies and Chani gets really devastated by the loss, I think the dynamics between the loss of the father would be a bit different compared to the loss of the mother. Because, the father in this universe teaches how to survive in the desert. I mean, yes, women can, but again, it's the men who spend most of the time out there in the desert. So this is... I'm not sure how that's going to work. This human being manages to basically keep the peace amongst many people. Women are very good at that, so why can't Kynes be a woman? Okay, this is where they get the whole SJW or gender or whatever nonsense comes into it. It seems to be a buzzword nowadays, and I think for a lot of film marketers, this is a way of grabbing audience attention. Or maybe they are just insane, I don't know. Ugh. Loathsome. Co-stars as a mystery woman named Chani who answers Paul's. Okay, so the author hasn't read the book. Well done. Oh, God. These people are ridiculous. I mean, how can you not read the book? It's an excellent story. It's like not reading 1984. Okay, so... Yeah, I do remember Jordan. It was extremely hot in summer. I mean, I remember coming out of my apartment, it's like 38 degrees, and you could maybe spend about 30 minutes outside before you immediately went back in. You know what the first thing I did? I opened the door to my freezer and put my head in it. It was that hot, just to cool myself down. Yeah, Jordan in summer is ruddy hot. When I first got there, actually, it was really quite cold. It's freezing, actually. January through to, I think, March, they get rain, they get, freezing temperatures. So yeah, I can understand why, I can understand why they would say that it gets too hot. Anyway, enough of my rambling on. I don't think there's any more I can say about this. What I will be doing is keeping updated with the news about this film, because it's something I'm very much interested in, and I'll make a video and I'll share my thoughts, and hopefully you'll enjoy it, and hopefully I'll get you guys interested. So yeah, there's not much to say other than if you like my videos, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that other lovely stuff, because I really want to grow my channel. I don't want to do it because I want to make turn it into a career. I just want some interaction. I like talking about films, and I want to hear what you guys think. I want to build a community, basically. So yeah, until next time. Oh yeah, try and check out my other videos. I like to think they're kind of funny in some ways. Well, they should be funny. Well, they are. So watch them. Anyway, until next time, bye for now, and I'll catch you whenever you see my video. Ta-ta.